I'm often asked by people how to create good content. So many people that I meet either struggle with creating the content and coming up with the ideas, or they don't know what content to put out and what message to put forward. And one thing I've been telling a lot of people lately has been that you are the content. You are the ones that people want to watch. Your life is the content. Your ups, your downs, your joys, your failures, your surprises, your letdowns, everything about your life is your content. And nowadays, so many people are tired of just the over glamorized, beautified life, and they really want authentic creators, people who are putting themselves in front of the camera and letting them know who they really are, which is something that I feel like I need to be practicing more of. You see, for the last 5, 6 years, I've really just kind of been behind the camera. Even as Ariel Austin and Meek Monster Media started taking off, I was creating a lot of content for a lot of resorts and hotels, the hospitality industry, and just so many other people that it left me almost no time to create anything for myself. You see, what I wanted to do was create a bunch of BTS content where I was taking you guys behind the scenes on the resorts that I was filming and all these really great places that I was being able to capture, photograph, and videograph. Um, but I never did any of that, partly for two reasons. One, I would film, but never had time to edit the content. Or two, just never had the time to really focus on setting the camera up and capturing more of the behind the scenes of what I do. And that's really kind of left me sad since I've been looking back on that. You see, one of the things I love about videography and photography is the creativity behind it. But the more and more that I got into doing more of the corporate stuff, the more it just kind of got mundane and dry. Like I wasn't really able to do the things that I wanted to do. I was more forced to do the things that my clients wanted me to do or the people that I was working under wanted to do. And I don't mind collaborating and sharing ideas, but so many times it just felt like they wanted more of that corporate business look. And so after a while, I really had to examine my heart, examine my mind, and ask myself, is this really something that I want to keep doing? Do I want to invest more time in businesses and companies that don't really share my creative values and ideas? Or should I take a chance on myself and really just go full throttle on working on my creativity and the vision that I want to put forward for the world? So I'm one of these kind of people that wake up at 3 a.m. and is hustle, grind, motivation almost from the jump. And one of my favorite places to go to find inspiration, motivation, or just work through some ideas has been the Modern Wisdom podcast with Chris Williamson. And one of my favorite episodes lately to listen to has been the one with Chris Bumstead, who just won another Mr. Olympia and also retired. And one of my favorite clips that I want to share with you guys is the way that he speaks about leaving a legacy and being memorable for what you do, but not just that, who you become in the process. So let's go ahead and take a look at that clip.
It's the big picture of my life that I'm focusing on, of who I want to become going through all these things. So if I win an Olympia, how do I want to win that Olympia? Who do I want to be when I win that Olympia? How do I want to win it? How do I want to show up in my relationships? If I lose that Olympia, how do I want to lose? Who do I want to be when I lose? Who am I becoming through all these little challenges and goals along the way that aren't the big picture? Who am I becoming, which is the big picture? And I think that's so important for me to understand it. Everything that you choose to do and how you handle it is shaping who you're becoming. And at the end of the day, when you're old and have grandkids and children in your life, you're the culmination of everything you've accomplished, but also how you accomplished it and how you reacted to it.
I think after having Jack, a part of me that began to kick in was, what legacy am I going to leave my kids, right? It isn't just, am I going to leave them a well off bank account? Am I going to leave them a home? Am I going to leave them a car? As someone who grew up without a father in the home and without any role models in the home for a while, um, I really value masculinity now, and I really value what it means to be a father. And so, as my pursuits and my goals began to overshadow my family, that's when I needed to ask myself, what is most important to you? Like exactly what they were talking about here. Are your pursuits and your goals more important than your family and your friends? And if so, then what are you showing them? Right? Are you showing your sons that work comes before family, friends, before God, before everything else? Or are you showing them that work is just a means to an end, right? Like you can learn any skill to end up making you a lot of money, but that's not the whole purpose of it. In today's culture, we've made the pursuit of money the goal, right? How hard can you work? How many side gigs can you have? Um, which was when I woke up this morning, that was like the song that I had in my head was Nipsey Hussle's "Hustle and Motivate," and I felt like that was the theme for the day. Like that is my goal for life, to hustle and to motivate. And so I kind of broke down what I mean by that. So to me, to hustle means to work hard for what you want. It means to grind for what matters most. And to motivate means to inspire others to action. And so for me, I want to work so hard and I want to be so determined and so motivated that other people see me doing what I do and get inspired by that and want to pursue their goals, their dreams, their aspirations. And so when I woke up this morning, I'm like, that's the theme for the day: hustle and motivate. Because if I had to define, I think a lot of what my personality is I'm really hardworking. Like when it comes to our business, I don't think there's another uh, person out there who works as hard as I do. Um, when it comes to just learning my clients, learning their pain points, learning their niche, learning what they need. Like to me, when someone puts their money in my bank account and says, I trust you with attaining our goals, then I make sure that I accomplish that goal. And so when it looks like hard work or what we call the hustle, you're grinding, you're spending night and day researching, going through the analytics, going through the competition, all these kind of things. You're putting in that hustle, you're putting in that grind so that you can also produce what you promised as the end goal, right? But at the same time, the motivation comes in because I think so many people um, will look at someone like me and the lifestyle that I like to live and say that I'm crazy, or man, you're just one of those people, or that's my genetics, I was born that way, whatever it is. And that is not true at all. To become the person that I am today, it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of work in myself and in my heart and in my mind. So sometimes when you tell somebody who has been trying to develop a better personality and a better person, when you tell them, oh, it's just your genetics, it's just, your upbringing is just this or that, you're disregarding the work that they've put in day after day, month after month, year after year. Like when people assume that I like going to the gym because I want to look physically fit or be strong, at times I chuckle because in my head, I think there's two people that go to the gym. The person who is seeking physical abilities, right? They want to look physically fit, physically strong, they want to have a certain body type. There's that person, but I think there's also the other person who goes to the gym to just work through some mental demons, to work on the mind. And there's no other way to get this anger out, to get this work out of you, to get this stress out of you, than to lift heavy weight. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people who is haunted by my past, is haunted by a lot of the decisions that I've made and the person who I used to be. But at the same time, I know that in that person, there is so much gold to mine for. A lot of the insecurities, a lot of the letdowns, a lot of the tears, a lot of those things are the things that I need to go in every single day and mine and dig and search for. That's where the gold lies. That's where the treasure is. And for me, when I wake up every morning at 3 a.m., it's more me looking forward to becoming the person who I've always wanted to be. And so when you tell somebody who is like that, oh, you're just one of those people, and you make it seem like it isn't of any work or importance, or like they just woke up one day and they were just that kind of person, it isn't like that. And till this day, I think my wife knows this better than anybody. If I don't go to the gym in the morning, you don't want to see me in the afternoon. You don't want to see me in the evening. And like I said, it really is, especially having two kids now, running a business, trying to become this next level of myself. When you try to do that, it takes much more effort than you've ever put in, because at this point, you've put in the maximum amount of effort that you think you could. And so to get to the next level, you need to put in more effort than you had in the past. And you don't know what kind of level that is until you keep pushing forward. One of my favorite examples of this in the gym is pushing to failure. And so there's something that I've been thinking about lately in my life, which I'm calling the fail factor, um, which is so many of my accomplishments are due to a lot of my failures. And so when you're in the gym, pushing to failure, overtraining is all about knowing where your stopping point is and then pushing past that, right? And so again, whether it's a chest day, a leg day, a arm day, back day, when you push through failure, there isn't even a number that you have in your head. So, I was wondering whether or not I was going to talk about this. So I guess I'll just talk about it right now. A few weeks ago, I was at Gold's Gym in Austin, and again, battling through some demons in the head, lifting a lot of weight. I was in a really good chest session, and I see these two guys just standing off, and it looked like they were waiting for the machine that they were standing by. But after maybe 5 or 6 minutes, they end up approaching me and asking me how many more reps until I'm done with the machine. And I just look at this guy straight in the face and I say, I don't know. And then I go back to working out. Now, I'm sure he could have assumed rightly, man, this guy is a jerk. He's not nice, whatever you want to say. But when I go in the gym, I'm not looking to conversate, and I'm not looking to um, make friends. And I'm honestly at this point, when I get in this point of a workout for me, like I'm not even looking to answer any questions. Like what I'm trying to do right now is time my muscle in with either my insecurities from the past, pains, let down, whatever it is. And so when you push your muscle to failure, that has to be something that you intentionally look for, because you are trying to find the point where you can no longer go. That's what I see so much right now in my life. It's been easy at times to just go after these clients and say yes to one job after the next, because at the end of the day, I think I want to be a good father, I want to be a good husband, I want to be a good provider, I want to be all these things, right? And so to me, the means of attaining all that was through saying yes to as many jobs as I can so we can make more money. But what that ended up doing in my heart was really separating me from my family, my friends, and even my creativity. And so right now, I've kind of hit a season where I could either rest or I can throw it into hyperdrive. And I feel like so much of what I'm called to do in this season is actively rest by creating content. And what I mean by that is I get the privilege of speaking to so many people who either watch my content, are inspired by my content, influenced by my content, whether it's motivational talks like this, or maybe even something like a place that I recommended that you should go eat or try, or barbecue, or whatever it is. So one of the reasons I want to start creating more content around my life, the things I enjoy to do, and the things that I like to spend my time in, is primarily because I want everyone out there to see that it is possible to live a life that is focused on family, focused on faith, focused on creativity, focused on fitness, focused on hobbies and these things that you enjoy. Um, because I think that was one of my struggles for the longest time as well, was how do I balance all of this, right? When I think of work life balance, so much of me thinks of maybe a scale that you're trying to get evenly to zero. So you're putting things on this one side and then putting things on the other side and making sure, okay, is everything level? Is everything even? Is everything at zero? Or I think maybe even the opposite extreme, which is a circus with clowns, and this clown is juggling a bunch of things in one hand, and there's chainsaws and all this thing going off. Or maybe a trapeze artist who is on a wire super up high, and he's juggling some stuff and has like all these things on his back, and he's trying to carry all this weight. I think in real life, at times it even looks like maybe a single mom or a single dad who is picking up the kids, answering the emails, ordering the food. And we think work life balance is doing everything all at once. And what I've ended up realizing in the last few months is that my problem wasn't balance, it was focus. I wasn't focusing on my family when I should have. I wasn't focusing on my work when I should have. I wasn't focusing on my friends when I should have. I was being so disillusioned by the word balance and so distracted by the word balance that I thought I had to do it all in order to feel like I was doing something. And now the word that I'm using, and I'm going to start letting you guys in on this side of my world, but the word that I'm using is focus. What I'm trying to create is better work life focus. And so what that looks like is being intentional in the things that I'm doing, being intentional in being a creative, being intentional in being a father, being intentional in being a husband, being intentional in being a Christian, being intentional in being a friend. I think so much of what we lost in our modern day culture is intentionality. We allow our emotions to just run wild with our body and say, oh, I'm angry, so I'm going to post whatever I want on social media. Or, oh, I'm happy and I'm going to do this. Or I'm sad and I'm going to do that. I'm depressed, I'm going to do these actions. And we don't put our heart and our mind and our soul into the thing that is in front of us. And that's been something I've been trying to practice more and more and more after my brother's death, has been, what does this reality look like? Hyper realized in a sense, right? What I mean by that is, what is this moment really? Like, what's going on right now? And am I in tune with it? Like, am I laughing at the things that I'm supposed to be laughing at? Am I crying at the things I'm supposed to be crying at? Am I showing emotion in the things that I'm supposed to be showing emotion to? Or am I just sitting down on my phone while my wife is talking to me about a problem or something that she's enjoyed, and I just say, oh, yeah, yeah, that's great. I'm not intentional. I'm not in tuned. I'm not being focused in the moment. And that's what robs me so much of the time, of my time, is that I'm not being intentional. I'm not in the moment. I'm not doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. Like, if I'm clocked out and I'm not working after 5 or 6 and it's my time to be a husband or a dad, then I need to be a husband or a dad, right? I need to tell my wife that she looks beautiful. I need to say, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm sorry. To me, I think those are some of the 3 phrases that every marriage needs, right? 3 phrases that every marriage needs is, I love you, I'm sorry, and I appreciate you. But you can't say those words unless you're in tune with the moment to know what words you should be saying in the moment. And so when I began to realize that the issue was not work-life balance, but work-life focus, that's when so many things in my mind began to be more and more clear. And as I started having more and more conversations with other men around me, it became even more clear to me, like, this is a problem we all have. We're all chasing work-life balance when we really need work-life focus.
A picture of myself, and I hadn't never won an Olympia, and then I had a picture of myself that had won 6 Olympias, and my kids were looking at it, holy shit, you were jacked, Dad. That's where their thought ends. It's not like you had 5, you had 6, you had 7. It doesn't matter, That's cool, you're jacked, but who are you, and how do you show up in my life every day?
And how did those pursuits, how did the goals that you tried to achieve or did achieve change you?
Yeah.
How did they cause you to be a different sort of father or grandfather or husband or friend or business partner or whatever?
And what lessons did you learn and take from them that you can give to me so that I can learn from them and hopefully not go through as much pain while still learning the same lesson?
And that's been the thing that I have really been focused on when it comes to Jordan and Jack, has been what I want to teach you guys is primarily that life can really be enjoyed. Like, I think so much of what I got from my parents and my upbringing in my family was, you know, you won't be happy until you have XYZ, right? You need the car, you need the finances, you need the job, you need the girl, you need these things. And so I always felt unfulfilled until I had those things. And I think one of the things that I would love to teach my kids is fall in love with the pursuit of those things. Like, let the goal be the goal, right? Like, of course, you should want to have a good job. Of course, you should want to have a good marriage. Of course, you should want to have a close friend group. But if you fail in the pursuit of those things, don't let the failure keep you from attempting again and again and again, right? Allow yourself to be hurt by the reality of life, but don't let the rigidness of life disillusion you to the magic that life really brings. And so, if I can teach my kids that, I feel like that would be a solid legacy to leave. You know what I mean? Like, there really is magic in this world. Caterpillars really do turn into butterflies, right? Like, this really does exist. And there's magic sprinkled all around. And if we don't have a work life focus lifestyle, then what's going to happen is we're going to miss all those little magic moments. To me, one of the greatest things that I think I've been gifted with has been just this hyper focused mindset that I've had lately. Something I've been praying for, something I've really been desiring for a few years now, because I feel like there's so many times I've been robbed of a moment. And a few months ago, while I was out filming in Utah, it was that was the moment that really struck me. And I think I spoke about this in an episode. But I wasn't able to remember what it was like being around these beautiful mountains and experiencing this beautiful sunrise because I was too worried about getting the footage. I was too worried about filming. I was too worried about capturing all this stuff that when I got home to edit, I was left like, wow, this was all beautiful stuff and I don't remember any of it. Like, my worry for my work took me away from the wonder that was in front of me. And I think that was one of the moments that I said, no more, man. Like, I can't do this anymore. And so now it's saying to myself, what matters and what will you sacrifice on that altar of what matters? Like, if it's my goals, am I going to sacrifice my family for my goals? Am I going to sacrifice my family for my success or for my finances? No, I'm not going to do that. And so I would rather sacrifice the things that I think are going to bring me happiness for the things that I know are going to bring me happiness. And so if it's jobs that's going to take me away for months on end, I've been having to say no to those. If it's jobs that are paying really well, but I'm having to leave the house all the time, then I can't do that, because I think my primary goal is to be a father and to be a good husband. And so in the pursuit of that, that's where a lot of this is coming in, because I know there's a lot of men out there who struggle with these kind of things. Like, what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a father and a husband? And how do you do those things rightly? And how do you know you're doing those things? And so I think someone who is in midst of that process, I'm 38 years old. I'm a creative business owner. I'm a husband and a father of 2 kids. I'm a Christian who practices his Christianity. Like, I do all these things, and by God's grace, I'm able to do them. But it also isn't by accident, right? Like, I've been having to practice these skills, whether it's been time management, whether it's been this intentional living, this focused living lifestyle, whether it's been, putting my phone down and being intentional about all these things, whether even when it comes to my fitness, into trying new workouts and trying new ways of working out so that I could then see if it works. And if it does work, double down, check all these things. And so much of my life lately has been like, I'm the test rat, right? Like, I'm patient X, and I'm okay with that, because at the end of the day, I know that whatever I'm putting myself through is going to be the knowledge that my kids are going to be able to glean from. And ultimately, that's a price I'm willing to pay for them. So the last clip that I want to check out is with Chris Williamson and Alex Hormozi. This was another good one that just kind of hit me straight to the heart. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Find the others. Admit it, you aren't like them. You're not even close. You may occasionally dress yourself up as one of them, watch the same mindless television shows as they do, maybe even eat the same fast food sometimes. But it seems that the more you try to fit in, the more you feel like an outsider. Watching normal people as they go about their automatic existences. For every time you say club passwords like "have a nice day" and "weather's awful today, eh?" you yearn inside to say forbidden things like "tell me something that makes you cry" or "what do you think deja vu is for?" Face it, you even want to talk to that girl in the elevator. But what if that girl in the elevator and the balding man who walks past your cubicle at work are thinking the same thing? Who knows what you might learn from taking a chance on a conversation with a stranger? Everybody carries a piece of the puzzle. Nobody comes into your life by mere coincidence. Trust your instincts, do the unexpected, find the others.
So that's what this is all about. I want to find the others. I want to find the 3 a.m. grinding people who know what it's like to put in the work day in, day out, even if they're not seeing the results, but falling in love with the process. The guys and girls out there who are willing to say to themselves, tomorrow I'm going to go 10 times harder. And the next day I'm going to go 20 times harder. Why? Because our life deserves it. You see, when you think about the probability of you being alive and you being on this earth, it's magical, right? Like the fact that you are alive at this point in time, right now, with the technology you have in your hands and the ability you have, and to let all that go by for something that you want to call depression, anxiety, sadness, whatever it is, just because a boyfriend or a girlfriend let you down, just because you got fired from a job, whatever it is, there's no reason to give up as long as you're still alive. And so being able to find a community of people to inspire you, to spur you on, to motivate you, to tell you to keep going and show you the way to go is exactly what I want this channel for. Like, I still want to create, the dope videos, the how-tos, the cinematic stuff, because that is another part of me that I want to share with y'all, is how I make a living, how I film, because I know a lot of y'all out there want to be videographers, want to be photographers, want to be creatives in this way. So I want to put more of that content out for you. And especially now that I'm going to give myself more time to create those things, I know that I'll be putting out more content, answering y'all's questions. So again, whatever y'all want to know, want to see, comment below, and I'll make sure to be checking that out. But at the end of the day, my purpose is service. I'm here to serve, and I'm here to help, and I'm here to inspire others who need that inspiration. I've known that in the past and I've always shied away from it, but now I just want to help more people, and I know the only way to help more people is to put myself out there in more creative, open ways. And so I hope you guys like the content that's coming out, and if you don't, well, I'm still going to be creating it, because that's the other thing that I'm realizing is the creative muscle is all about you. It's exercising what's up here and pushing what's up here to be right here in front of you. And so I don't know what that looks like for me, but I do know that now that I'm giving myself this freedom and openness to create, I'm giving myself the time to create the things that I want to create, and to not rush, and to not feel like every moment or every job is the one I'm depending on. I want to show you guys what it looks like to not just live a driven life, but a work life focused life, a life that is intentional on the things that it does, because every single moment of your life matters, whether it's with your kids, with your wife, with your job, with or with your spouse, whatever it is, right? Like whatever you're doing at that moment, you're doing at that moment. So don't let life just flash by your eyes, right? One of my favorite movies is Click, and I think this is a great way of defining it. Like that's literally what he did. He was just so bogged down with the mundane things of life that when he passed by all of it, he ended up realizing like, no, all of those moments that seemed mundane were actually the moments that I wanted to live for the most. So don't get lost in the pursuit of things, but find yourself in there, right? Like Look, stop and smell the roses. Like, touch the flowers. Look at the birds. Even when you're in the valley, appreciate what's around you, because that's what's going to make you appreciate the mountaintop view more than anything. So to all y'all out there, the 3 a.m. grind, hustle till it's hard. For y'all out there who keeps pushing forward, who keeps getting motivated, who keeps working for what they want. For y'all out there who know what it's like to fail day after day, time after time, but failure in a good way, in a way that's leading to success. And for all y'all out there who continue to put in the positivity and put in the work and put in the grind, I salute you. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.